Major and minor pentatonics. Which one? Why not both? I'm going to show you how to blur the line between both of them, how to mix and match some of the sounds, how to smear the thirds, get some new soloing sounds. And I'm also going to share a little story about a light bulb moment that a little kid had when I got one of these. Maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. This old antiquated lesson from the 80s. We're going to dust it off and show how it's all ties into today's topic. Stay tuned. Here we go. All right, Terrio back at you. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to all the new subscribers and all the support, all the love for the channel. And if you guys hadn't subscribed yet and you watch all the time, what are you waiting for? Hit the like, subscribe. It don't cost you a cent. All right, here we go. Let's talk guitar. Let me tell you guys a little story first. One of the things that I think makes guitar playing so great throughout your whole life, it's like golf. I don't play golf, but they say it's a lifetime game. I guess guitar is the same. But there's all the little light bulb moments that happen. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Hopefully you have a lot of light bulb moments watching my channel. Hopefully. I still have a few light bulbs that go off. As you get more proficient, they're less and less. But it's still a magical thing when it happens. And one of the light bulb moments for me was when I was a little kid. And I'd get home from school and I couldn't wait to plug in my guitar, sit on the edge of my bed, and I'd play A minor pentatonic, right? One of the first things we learn. Well, one day, I don't remember how or why it happened. I'm sure you had the same experience. I just had this little eureka moment where I just figured out, if I move this down, wow, it sounds country. It sounds kind of happier. I went from Vivian Campbell to Ed King from Leonard Skinner in about 2 seconds. Just moved that shape down. So I didn't know why that was, until about 6 months later, when Santa Claus asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And I told my mom, I want these Metal Method guitar lessons in this magazine. I want this. Mom's like, what? So she got me 2 lessons. I could pick out 2 lessons, and this was one of them. And it was a guy named Doug Marks. In the 80s, I'm sure you saw this was like the Charles Atlas of the guitar ads back then. They were in every guitar magazine. And I got to say, Doug Marks, if you're watching this guy was a genius. He was he probably still around, a great teacher. He was able to squeeze into this booklet. It's a booklet, little staple, light paper, 21 pages. It is packed with stuff. I learned all my minor pentatonic shapes. I learned modes, theory, basic theory, relative major and minor, all that stuff. There's about 3 years of college theory in this little book in 21 pages. I think it was like $14.95 back then. Come on. The guy was genius. What does that have to do with major and minor pentatonic? Well, that answered my question when I was a kid. Why does that all work, So briefly, without getting into theory, I don't want to make it a theory lesson. I'm going to give you a couple of patterns in a sec that I like to use to solo, some hybrid patterns. But briefly, here's another little hack, no extra charge, a little theory hack. To find the relative minor or relative major, think about this little hack, right? That's an A major chord. You're in the major leagues, baseball. What the hell are you talking about, Shane? Baseball. Yeah, major leagues, think major. And you get demoted because you suck and you have a shitty year. Count down 4 frets from major. 1, 2, 3, 4, and play minor. There's your relative minor. So you can find that anywhere. Just count 4 frets, and it also works. You can get promoted back to the majors. So D major, B minor. That's what we're going to work with now. Here we go. Mixing minor, major pentatonics, the easiest way for me to do this is to use this scale as a template. There's a bunch of ways I'm going to do it, and I'm covering this in my course coming up called Pentatonic Power, and that's going to be out soon. I promise. It's done. I'm just trying to get some other things wrapped up. But let me show you kind of what I'm thinking about here. According to Doug Marks, I moved that down in D. That's D major pentatonic. Now, you could think of it as B minor pentatonic. It doesn't matter. Same shape, same notes. If I change one note, all right, this is getting to the point. Thank you for hanging with me. I'm changing one note now, and I'm going to blur minor and major because I'm going to add a minor third. Now check it out. Here's the regular pattern. Check this out. Here's my hybrid. So all I did was I changed this E note, which is 7th fret, 3rd string. I'm sorry, 9th fret, 3rd string. I changed that to the 10th fret, which is F. That's a minor third. My next note up the pattern is a major third, so I have minor and major. You get both, you get the best of both. So that's a cool sound. So you can use like some of your licks you might know, a good old Jimmy Page lick. Try it with this new shape. Eddie Van Halen used this shape. Check out So This Is Love off of Fair Warning. One of the greatest examples of major and minor pentatonic morphing ever was recorded. And he did it like this. I'm not an expert. There's another way to access the third. So that's F. That's why I tell you to learn your notes. F. Where's another F? There's F. So what if I do this? What did I do there? I went A, 7th fret, 9th fret on the D string, 7th fret, 9th fret on the G string, and then the 6th fret, 2nd string, slide up to the same finger. So that gives you a chromatic embellishment as well. Chromatic. I like this shape a lot. I like it a lot because I use, because you can slip and slide with this one, So here's another lick, that one of the only Steve Lukather licks I know. If you're a Steve Lukather fanatic, don't kill me if I mess it up. But it comes from Rosanna, and it's an example of major minor pentatonic with a little chromatic du jour in there, and it's like this. And what I'm doing is it's D major pentatonic, and then you access the flat third like I just showed you on the 2nd string, 6th fret, slide up, hammer onto the A, 10th fret, pull off to the 7th fret, continue up, 8th, 10. So then you go to the B flat, 6th fret, 1st string, and do the same move. So this is adding that's adding a minor third with a chromatic embellishment. That's chromatic. So you might think to yourself, well, Shane, could I use that and just use that move, but back down in my A minor? Yep. You can do that. So all we're doing is, I like to call it shape shifting. You're just adding a note. One little note makes a big difference. And where you access that note also makes a difference, because it frees up certain fingerings and it makes melodic ideas or licks you're trying to go for more accessible. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Give me a like, subscribe. I'll see you soon. Terrio out.